Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, we talk about all things fandom on this channel and we talk about it in a positive way. If that's something that appeals to you, you've come to the right place. We're so happy to have you here today, and we have to talk today about Peacemaker Season 2, Episode 4, and this is going to be our spoiler review, so let's jump right into it. Alright everybody, if you haven't been watching Peacemaker, it is getting really good and I highly recommend you watch it. Now here's the thing, you don't have to have watched Superman in order to enjoy this, and you don't have to watch this in order to enjoy Superman. Although it is getting to be where they are explaining a bit more of what the DCU is going to look like, and it's going to look good. Now from this point on, I must say that there are going to be spoilers, so if you haven't watched the episode yet, you might want to click off this video and then come back after you've seen the episode. Now, it starts off 35 years ago with Peacemaker accompanying his brother and his father on a hunting trip where they discover an extraterrestrial creature. In spite of Peacemaker's pleas to spare it, his dad actually kills the creature, and they discover the quantum unfolding chamber that it used to travel to their reality in the first place, and they decide to take it for themselves. Now we go to present day where the agents being led by Sasha are en route to Chris's residence, planning to raid and arrest Peacemaker. They know about the doors, so they're really trying to get that going. Now, John actually gets a message out to Peacemaker while they're traveling there, and when he does, they actually end up getting there, and Peacemaker has a chance to escape. Now, once Peacemaker has a chance to escape, he's on the run. John stalls for time a bit. He actually gets the jump on Red St. Wild, and this is sort of a weird scene. But then he goes inside and they're telling him to open the door. But he's already got a message from Peacemaker telling him to stall for time. Now, Peacemaker also sent a message to Leota telling her to meet him. And he proceeds to try to get to her. Judo Master finds him and they have a fight. Now, the cool thing about this is that once again he defeats Judo Master. Peacemaker and Leota go to this cabin in the woods where they proceed to try to find a way to open up the portals in this place so that they're not in Peacemaker's house. And what ends up happening is that John, meanwhile, is stalling because Peacemaker asked him to stall for time. So he stalls opening the doorway, but then eventually he has to do it. Peacemaker and Leota actually do manage to transfer these doorways to this new place. And Red St. Wild has begun to use his powers to really sort of track where Eagle is. He has these really crazy powers and he does this really crazy ritual thing with fire, and it looks really cool. His powers are weird, but they looked pretty cool in terms of him being able to track where Eagle is. It actually worked. Then when it's all said and done, they open up the door and find that there are no portals there. Rick Flag Sr. is called, and then he visits Emilia, and he tempts her with the offer to rejoin the organization of Argus and get her old job back. Now, she does this, and we don't know it at first, but Peacemaker does message her, and he asks her to meet him somewhere, and what he's doing is trying to see if he can have his happy ending. Because if he can't have his happy ending, he's just going to leave this world for the other. He had a whole conversation with Leota about what happened in the previous episodes, and she gave him her advice. And she basically told him that he's meant for this world, and whatever is going on in this other world doesn't matter because it's not his world, and maybe it's all in his head. But she takes this deal. Emilia takes this deal. All right, so basically, we see that Peacemaker is traveling into a trap, and that's kind of where the episode ends. And that's kind of really cool because this tells us everything we need to know. I love the way this episode went because it sort of did shine a light on exactly where those doors came from. And people are questioning something about the episode. They're trying to wonder and ponder exactly how Lex Luthor has managed to create the same system that's used here if there are aliens that did it before. And the simple solution is that in a world where alien technology exists, you also have people who can duplicate this technology. It's very self-explained. There's no big reveal or weird thing that happens there. Anytime you have a technology, there's always going to be someone with the brains to actually figure out how to do it and make it work. And this person happens to be Lex Luthor in the Superman movie. So we know how that happens now. We know kind of where that technology might come from. And basically what we see is that they're able to transfer this door to another spot. And it's really cool because this goes along with everything that I've been saying about the series so far. His conversation with Leota is basically that he needs to actually accept where he is. Now, Leota's going through her own trouble. She's actually got her romance that she has that's breaking up. And it's falling apart really quick. She wants to get the girl back, but the girl doesn't want to be with her anymore. And she gets this ad in a magazine, and she shows it to Peacemaker, and Peacemaker's telling her that only a few people actually read this thing. And that might come back to bite everybody later on. That might be a big thing later on. We might get to meet some other people who actually have followed that and read this magazine. So I expect that to be a thing. But what's really cool about this episode is that it does sort of coincide with what I've been saying about this series all along. That it really is sort of this Wizard of Oz type of thing, where he has to learn that there is indeed no place like home. He has to learn that where he belongs is in the current dimension he's in. And it's all about finding that happiness despite whatever the world is throwing at you, because pretty much at the end of the day, you can't control what life throws at you. You have to kind of go with the flow. And he hasn't really accepted this or learned this, and he thinks the world is treating him bad. So of course he's going to want to escape, just like anyone's going to want to escape, to a place that's happier, to a place where they can feel better. And here he's learning this lesson. He's going to meet Amelia, and she's going to turn on him, and she's going to regret turning on him, and he's not really going to notice this, because ultimately he's going to decide to leave. And when he decides to leave, he's going to notice that this dimension he's traveling to isn't as perfect as he thinks. And what I think actually is, I've heard a couple people whisper about what this dimension could be, that this dimension could in fact be Dimension X, and that would be kind of cool, because this would mean that everybody that you think is good is evil, and World War II ended a whole different way. It could really mean something like that, and it's interesting to think about that, although I really don't think that's going to be the dimension he's in. I do think that they're going to find that something similar has happened. But then also a lot of people have noticed that this technology that this alien has, and this alien himself, actually looks like something from the New Gods comics. While the episode does not reference the New Gods explicitly, this quantum unfolding chamber device that opens up portals to other dimensions, a chamber like that was owned previously by this alien who they killed 35 years ago, and that creature predates Superman's arrival on Earth. Okay, so here's the thing. While the term New Gods isn't used in the episode does deal with that interdimensional travel and the alien being similar to the concept of the New Gods of Apocalypse and New Genesis. So I kind of think there might be something there. This alien could have in fact been one of the aliens that exist in the New Gods comics, and ultimately this could mean that Darkseid is on his way to the DCU. Now, we talked about this in our previous video about how Darkseid could be the big bad in the Superman Man of Tomorrow movie, and this sort of tends to support that theory, because if you think of this alien and the technology that he has and the way that Darkseid could get into this world to search for the mother box and all of that, then it becomes something that is 1,000% possible. So I think this episode did a really good job, and it's continuing to actually make sense in the big picture of what is becoming the DCU. But as always, I want to know what you guys are thinking about the whole thing. I want to know your thoughts. So make sure you do leave me that comment in the comment box below. Make sure you share this video with all of your friends so they can be a part of this conversation as well. then you're going to want to hit that like button. If you like the positive content we bring, you're going to want to hit that like button to let the algorithm know that this is the type of content you want. People talking positive about your fandoms. And then if you're liking our videos personally, you're going to want to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell as well, so you never miss a single video we do. That's right, because at the end of the day, everyone, I know it and you know it. Fandom is family.